Hi everyone, it's Sam. Welcome to practice today. So today I'm going to be talking you through a bit of a hip opening flow. So we often store a lot of tension in our hips, space where everything can get a little bit stuck sometimes. So we're going to work through a bit of a fluid flow, working with control. We might be holding some of the poses a little bit longer than we normally do, just to really feel some nice sweet sensations into the hips. So before you get going, it might be a good idea to grab one or two blocks, whatever you have handy, and maybe a strap for today. That would be really good. So maybe just take a little moment to get yourself set up, anything that you need. And then when you're ready, we'll come to find our Shavasana. So starting by grounding down, lying all the way down to our mat. So taking the feet out to either corner of the mat and just rolling the body down here. Taking the arms out beside you, palms facing up to the sky. And taking this moment to get rid of any little fidgets, any little wriggles that you need to take here. And then allow yourself to just come to complete stillness. Closing down the eyes. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, audibly sigh out through the mouth. Allow that sigh to just start to melt the body down, rounding it down. Now let your next inhale and exhale be soft. You're starting to invite yourself onto your mat, into the present moment. The moment of just being. Start to take a scan of the body. Noticing any areas of tightness, maybe areas that feel particularly rigid today. And just notice them here, without judgment. Just bringing this awareness. And simply let them be. Start to scan the body for any areas of lightness, maybe areas that feel particularly open today. And again, not attaching anything to them, just noticing. No preference of either feeling. Just noticing and absorbing the experience from what your body feels right now. And start to bring some awareness to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Maybe you can start to deepen the breath. So as you inhale, really breathing in from that belly. Allowing the ribs to expand, the chest rises. Exhaling, the chest lowers, the ribs contract, the belly softens. Go ahead and take some deep breaths here. Connect into that movement. Visualizing the breath moving up and down the body. Maybe it starts to create a little bit more space. Take one more round. And then softening back to that gentle inhale and exhale through the nose. Start to bring some movement now into your physical body. Maybe starting to wriggle through the fingertips, through the toes. Maybe gently turning the head from side to side, awakening the body. If it feels good for you, taking the feet together, reaching your arms all the way up and overhead for a nice full body stretch. Inhaling, reach tall. Reach fingertips and toes away from each other, and as you exhale, just let it go. And start to bring the soles of your feet down towards the mat, bending at the knees. So you can keep the eyes closed or you can start to blink. Open the eyes here, whichever feels best for you. And then take the soles of the feet out wide to either corner of the mat. And then we're just going to start to windscreen wipe the legs. So the left knee opens out, the right knee drops in. And then take it on the other side. And just move in as slowly as you need here, as softly as you need. And just waking up the hips. Maybe there's a few cracks. And that's okay. Just go with it. Take one more each side. And come back to center. Start to draw your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you can use this time to interlace the hands over the shins. Squeeze it in, give yourself a nice little hug, and then start to take some circles with the lower back. So you can start in one direction and then reversing, taking it in the opposite direction. Again, just really start to notice how this feels in your hips and your lower body. And taking the hands to knees, keeping the feet together, start to draw circles with the legs. So we take the knees all the way out and then draw them back in. So we're taking these knees all the way out and around. You can let go of the knees if you want to make the circles a bit bigger. This might also feel a little bit spicy in the core. And then reverse the direction. Maybe starting small and progressively getting bigger. Just breathe in here. And then coming back to center, dropping the soles of the feet back down, this time taking the feet hips distance apart. Flexing through the right foot, go ahead and start to take that right foot over and across the top of the left thigh. But making sure we keep that right foot flexed here, really important. This might feel like enough for you. If you want to add on, start to draw that left knee in towards your chest, so coming into reclined pigeon. You can take your hands and interlace them under the left thigh. As you inhale, prepare. Feel this active engagement, so you're really pushing away with the right hip. As you then exhale, start to draw that left hip a little bit closer. Maybe this feels like a nice juicy stretch. And again, try not to attach anything to this sensation. Just let it be. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can always interlace hands around the left shin to draw yourself deeper. Remember to keep that active engagement through the right hip, pushing away that right thigh. One more breath. and then releasing the left sole of the foot down towards the mat where it came from. Keeping the right leg here. Then cactus out the arms, or you can take them out long if you have space, and then just allow the right sole of the foot to start to move all the way over towards the left. So we're coming into a bit of a twist here. Just breathing into this space and taking any little adjustments that you need. So if this feels a bit too tight for you, you can come up a bit, you can take a block underneath your foot. You might want to take the leg a little bit further down to reduce the stretch. So completely take it to where you need. Maybe you want to take your head over to the opposite direction. Taking a couple breaths here. Drawing the head back to center, take that leg all the way back up. Nice. Maybe you want to extend it in the air. Circle through the ankle, shake the foot, give it a little bit of life, whatever you want to do. And then take that right foot back down. Same on the other side. So flexing at the left foot, start to take that left foot 90 degrees and cross it over the top of the right thigh. Again, this might be enough, but if you want to, taking that right knee towards your chest, interlacing hands under the right thigh. We inhale, prepare. We push away through that left hip, so we should find a deeper opening here. Inhale. As you exhale, maybe you softly want to start to draw that right knee in towards your chest. Again, this can be quite progressive, so you don't want to just pull the right knee, the right thigh. We want to just maybe move incrementally, so just taking these little movements, inching closer. So as we do this, it allows us to relax into the pose. It gives our muscles a chance to really start to open up. Interlacing behind the shin if you need. And then releasing the hands, dropping that right sole of the foot down. Shimmy over a little bit. And then allow that left foot to come all the way, dropping over to the right. Again, taking whatever twist feels right for you. Breathe in here. Maybe take the head to the opposite direction. Allowing your body to just absorb this. One more breath. Start to take the head back to center and then lifting back up, planting that left foot down onto the mat. Nice. Then from here, drawing your knees in towards your chest, taking hold of underneath your thighs. We're going to rock back and forward 3 times until we make our way into a comfortable seated position on the mat. So this can be as gentle or as active as you need. Think of it as a little massage for your spine. Nice. And then when you arrive here, there is no rush. We'll find ourselves in a comfortable sukhasana, or cross-legged seated position. So taking anything that you need here. Maybe you want to take a block underneath the sit bones to lengthen through the spine, whichever feels right for you. Then taking your hands onto your thighs, and we're going to use this as a little bit of an anchor here. So we're going to take some circles through the pelvis and the upper body. It's going to be like a cat-cow motion. So as you inhale, we start to circle the body forward. We lift open through the chest like you're in your cat. As you exhale, we use our hands to just gently push away, drawing the chin towards the chest, arch through the spine into your cat. And then inhale back forward. So go ahead and take a couple rounds of this movement, and this should feel really nice for the body. And you can make it your own, so being quite fluid here. Maybe you want it to just be really gentle, and that's fine. and then reversing the direction. Inhaling forward, exhaling back, starting to engage with the breath here, linking the breath to movement. And coming back to centre, sitting up nice and tall when you've done both sides. And we're going to work with a couple rounds of lion's breath. So this is great because you're in your own home, so you can look as mad as you need to. So I'll talk you through one round. So we're going to inhale all the way through the belly, feel it rise all the way to the crown of the head. As you exhale, we're going to lean forward, stick your tongue out, pop your eyes open really wide. This is great for relieving tension through the face, through the body. So inhale. Exhale, stick your tongue out, exhale. Nice. If nothing else, you can just enjoy this. Take 3 more. Inhale, takes you up. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, really let it go. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale, lion's breath. Amazing, amazing. Hope you all looked as great as I did. And then coming back to centre. Starting to move through into your tabletop position, so you can cross over the legs, move the sit bones to the side. We'll make our way all the way up to our tabletop position. So spreading really wide through the fingertips, stacking the shoulders on top of wrists, hips on top of the knees, pushing down through the tops of the feet. Before we move today, we're going to take a couple of wrist exercises. So as you inhale, engage through the core, really spread down through the hands, and then start to circle the body over the wrists. So again, this can be as soft as you need to here. And just noticing how the wrists feel today, and then reverse the direction. So it's something that I always like to do before any of my yoga practices. I always focus on these wrist exercises. And coming back to centre, turning your palms so your fingertips are facing either side of the mat, and then just start to sway from side to side. Again, if any of this gets too much for you, know that this is just optional here. Maybe you want to take a little bend into the elbows. And then you can either stay here, or if it feels good for you, turning your fingertips all the way around to face the knees. So you might want to walk your knees in a little bit here. This can be quite intense. Otherwise, tuck under the toes. You can take 1 palm at a time like this. So turning the fingers down. That's giving yourself a self-adjust. If not, going into this position, keeping a little bit of a bend in the elbows, especially if you hyperextend in the arms like myself. And then you can start to draw the sit bones back. So maybe just ever so slightly peeling the palms off the floor. Nice. And coming back, turning those fingertips all the way around. Coming back to your tabletop, and we'll take the left top of the hand down, spread wide through the fingertips, and pushing those fingertips equally into the mat. So this should be a really nice stretch through the back of the wrist. And then flipping it over, take it on the right side. Breathing into this space. And this might feel a little bit weird if it's not something you do in your practice, but it's really great for strengthening and mobilizing the wrists. Take it back and then just sit back onto your heel. Give your wrists a little shake out. Take anything that you need to release tension. Maybe some disco arms. Shake it all out. Nice. Then come back to your tabletop. Taking it into a couple rounds of cat-cow here. So as you inhale, the tailbone reaches high. Chest reaches through, gaze goes up to the sky. As you exhale, round through the spine, push away through your shoulder blades, gaze to your belly. We'll take a couple more rounds of this. Exhale, push away. And move in with your own breath, so it might be a little bit faster, might be a little bit slower than mine. Do whatever feels right for you. I'm going to start to add on to a moving cat-cow here. So as you inhale, we come into the cow pose. So we lift up through the tailbone, open through the heart, tuck under the toes and draw those sit bones back. From here, round through the spine as you inhale, take it all the way to your cat, so you come into your tabletop. Then arch through the back, lift through the chest. Exhale. Inhale, round you forward. Exhale, nice, and maybe see if you can find this fluidity. So again, really connecting your breath to your movement. Maybe starting to engage through that ujjayi breath. Inhale, exhale through the nose. On this round, keeping back here, keep the toes tucked under, ground through the hands, lift the knees, lift the sit bones back, come into your first downward facing dog of the practice. So taking any little adjustments that you need, spreading wide through the fingertips, gripping the mat. Wrap your triceps around and in, encouraging that weight to come back. Maybe keep a generous bend in the knees to really lengthen through the spine. Maybe pedaling the feet from side to side. Shaking yes and no with the head, releasing any tension through neck, through shoulders. Breathing here, finding that inverted V shape. And coming to stillness. Take the gaze in between your hands, rise to your tiptoes and tiptoe the feet behind the wrists, keeping the feet hips distance apart. Take a really generous bend in the knees, connecting the belly to the thighs. Allow the body to sink forward. Stay here or hold on to opposite elbows. Gentle sway from side to side, ragdoll pace. Allowing everything to feel heavy, feel weighted here, drawing you down to the earth. Then release the hands, keeping a little bit of a bend in the knees. Tuck the chin to chest and we gently roll the spine all the way up to standing. Head coming up last of all. As you reach the top of the mat, take an inhale, draw shoulders up. Exhale, roll them down the back. Take one more, inhale. Exhale, roll them down the back, side out. Nice. Gonna start to work through a couple rounds of a variation of sun salutation 8. So adding on a little bit each time. So before we begin, starting in our Tadasana, so finding our foundations. So you can either have your big toes together, heels slightly apart, or feet stacked underneath your hips, whichever feels best for you. Lift all 10 toes off the mat, spread them as wide as you can, and then ground them back down to the earth. Slight internal rotation of the thighs, slight draw in of the belly button towards the back body, engaging through here, finding that core strength to guide us there. Then taking your hands to your heart center. We inhale, the arms reach high, maybe the gaze follows. Exhale, hinging from your hips, keep a bend in the knees if you need. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, hands to shins, gaze forward or fingertips to the mat. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose. So holding here for one breath. You can lower the knees if that feels good for you anytime. Push away through shoulders. Then we lower the knees. Start to untuck the toes, arch through the back like we do in our cow pose. Then lower the chest and the chin in between the hands. Inhale, slide the hips forward, peel the chest up, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck under the toes, push sit bones back. Lift up, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Taking in the little movements that you need to here. And finding stillness in your downward facing dog. Start to turn your heels towards the left and the hips towards the left. And just finding that nice stretch through hips, through hamstrings. Then maybe you want to lift the right heel. So you can really use the hands to push that weight back, getting deeper into that left outer hip. Then switching, so the right heel comes down, maybe the left heel comes up. Oh yes, nice and juicy. Take it to where feels right for you. One more breath. And take it all the way back to centre. Take it on the other side. Right heels, heels to the right, hips to the right. Breathing into this. Then lift the left heel up, opening through the outside of that right hip. Keeping strong in the hands. Lower the left heel, right heel lifts, opening up and out into the hip. Keeping a little bend in that left knee if you need to, that can feel quite nice. And then turn the feet all the way back to centre, downward facing dog. Take the gaze in between the hands, walk, step or jump towards the top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, twist all the way up, hands reach overhead. Exhale takes you all the way back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose, holding here. So you can either come through your knees, chest and chin, or if you want to, either lowering down to the knees, inhaling forward, taking half chaturanga, or if you're ready, taking your full chaturanga. So as you inhale, we rise all the way to the tops of the toes, keeping everything engaged here. As you exhale, start to bend the elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs, lower halfway. Come onto the tops of the feet. We inhale either to baby cobra or full upward facing dog if you are ready. Pushing down through tops of the feet, lifting knees off the mat. Exhale, tuck under the toes, push back, downward facing dog. Nice. Taking any little movements that you need. Using this time to connect to your body. Keeping that ujjayi breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Then in your downward facing dog, go ahead and do the same as we did previously. So send the heels towards the left hand side. Then start to bend into the knees here. So we push away, the heels lift. Opening through the back. Then we inhale, ripple the body forward to plank. Exhale, take the heels to the right. Push away. So left heel is grounded, right heel is lifted. Inhale, take it back to centre. Exhale, wave back downward facing dog. Nice. Start to gaze in between your hands. Walk, step, jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, start to send your hands underneath your feet, coming into Padahastasana. So taking the toes into the wrist crease. So you can take one at a time if this feels better for you. I like to take my feet hips distance apart and take a really generous bend in the knees, so it doesn't matter so much about getting the legs really straight. We want to bend the knees so we can allow those hands to push into the feet, feet into the hands. Breathing in, this should be a nice release for the wrists. One more. Maybe wiggle the toes, give yourself a little massage. And then releasing the hands down to the mat. And start to heel toe your feet out to the edge of the mat. Heels in, toes pointing out 45 degrees. And we lower the sit bones down, coming into everybody's favourite malasana. So if you need to, you can take your block. You can actually take it underneath your seat here. So if this is you and you feel like this is really deep, then you can take it here. And this isn't cheating, we're just really creating this muscle memory so that this can start to allow the hips to open here. So wherever you are, taking your variation of malasana. Maybe you can have your feet flat to the mat and you can give yourself a self-adjust. So taking the elbows on the inside of the thigh, open through the chest. Maybe you can push down through the feet, lifting those thighs up. So finding that active engagement in malasana. And then breathe in here. And take 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Notice what your mind is doing right now. So maybe you can start to calm the mind. 1 more. Nice. And then plant the hands down. Wiggle the feet all the way back in together. Hips distance. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to reach all the way up. Hands reach overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center, closing down the eyes here. And just coming back to that breath. So feeling the beating of the heart. Maybe you can start to feel that shift of energy already, knowing where we're going to go in our practice today. And let's go ahead and take 3 cleansing breaths before we move through to a couple of shorter flows today. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, audibly sigh it out. Nice, take 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, release anything that doesn't serve you. Amazing, 1 more. Inhale, the deepest breath yet. And exhale, release that tension, be soft. Nice. And when you're ready, gently starting to blink open the eyes and we'll start flow. So inhaling, the arms reach high. Exhale, hinging forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose. They're coming into your variation of vinyasa, so knees, chest, chin, or full chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Then here, starting to send the heels to the right again. So we've done this move before. We bend into the knees. So this can be enough. This is a great place to be. Or if you want to, ground down through that right foot. Maybe start to lift that left knee up to the sky. Maybe lifting that left hand. So opening the hip, finding that core and control. Nice. Wrap the tricep round and in. And then as slowly as you can, using your core, start to pivot that back foot to step that left foot in between the hands. Nice. Frame the front foot. Lower that back knee. Keeping the toes tucked. As you inhale, the arms reach high into the sky. Kundinyasana, lay lunge. Exhale, interlace the hands, place them on the left thigh. And just allow the hands to gently encourage the opening of that hip. But as you do this, we're opening through the hips, but we also want to find the stability. So feel like you're drawing the left foot towards you and you're pushing that right thigh against it. So you've got this opposition. Breathe in here, nice. That should feel a little bit juicy in itself, just these micro adjustments. Then placing the hand, frame the front foot. As you inhale, lift through the chest, think of your cow pose. As you exhale, try and keep the chest close to the knee As you start to shift the sit bones back, flexing through that left foot. So coming into Ardha Hanumanasana, heart splits. So again, if you want to keep a bend in the knee here, drawing that left hip back and down, that's amazing. You might actually feel a little bit more engagement if you usually take the full variation. Maybe try that today. Take one more. Inhale, peel the chest up. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, take it forward. Keeping the back toes tucked, power down through those feet, engage through the thighs to lift all the way up. Crescent lunge, yes, sneaky transition. Maybe bending in, scooping that pelvis under here, feeling that stretch through the outer right hip. Inhale, prepare. As you exhale, keep that left foot grounded as you shift the weight forward to draw your right knee in towards your chest, flexing through the right foot. We're going to take a variation of figure 4 pose, but standing this time. So keeping the right foot flexed, start to take the right foot over and place it onto the outside of the left thigh. Taking your hands together in prayer and drawing them at your heart center. So this might feel like enough for those hips. If you want to add on a bit more here, start to bend that left knee, sending the sit bones back. So it's like a variation of Utkatasana in your figure 4. And this should send all kinds of juiciness to that right hip. Nice. Again, breathing here, using that breath to help you here, to find release. One more breath. Exhale. As you inhale, start to rise all the way up. Draw that knee back towards your chest. The right arm starts to come all the way down, extending that right leg out long behind you. Toes touch down to the mat. The right hand is in line with the left foot. As you inhale, peel that left hand up. Easy twist. You can stay here or you can lower the knee, whichever feels right for you. But as you do this again, feel those thighs drawing together. The engagement through the thighs, through the hips. One more breath. Then if you can, lifting through both feet, start to wiggle that left foot a little bit further forward so it's in line with the hip. Come onto the knife edge of the left foot and the right foot. So it's like a bit of a variation of side plank here. As you inhale, push the hips up to the sky, lifting up and out through that left hand. Whoa, hello hips. As you exhale, start to lower the hips to the ground, maybe softening through that right hand. We'll take 2 more of these. Inhale takes you up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up, being as fluid as you need. Exhale, lower. If you can, lowering your hips all the way down to the mat. And breathing into these sensations. So this might feel a little bit deep here. Maybe taking a mudra. Take one more breath. Then ground back down through that right hand. Send the left hand all the way up and over. Heel toe that left foot out 45 degrees. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. You're in your lizard lunge. Nice. So taking some movement in your lizard lunge here. So knowing you can drop that back knee if this gets too much for you. Otherwise, keeping that back leg up, keeping it active. Open through that left hip. Come back to center. We're going to take a few variations of cat-cow here. So as you inhale, feel like you can lower the hips down towards the mat. Open through the chest. So this should feel really juicy, especially on that left hip. Exhale, push down through the hands, touch into the chest. Round it up. 2 more. Inhale. Lower the hips. Open it up. Exhale, round. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale round. And then inhale, if you wish, lowering that back leg all the way down. So finding where feels right for you in lizard lunge. So working a little bit deeper if you want to. You can come onto your forearms if that feels nice for you. You can open through that knife edge of the left foot. Maybe grounding down through the hands. You can also do this from a higher position. And start to use that left hand to just gently encourage that left hip to open a little bit more. Again, just breathing into these sensations. No judgment, no attachment. Feel that release. This might be enough. If you want to add on a little quad stretch, this can be where you use your strap as well. So you might want to first find your active engagement. So drawing that right foot towards right glute. Again, this might be enough. There's a lot going on in the hip here. If you wish, taking that left hand all the way out and around to hold onto the back of the right foot. Maybe drawing the right foot in towards the right glute. So there should be a really juicy quad stretch. Again, not forcing anything, just going where it feels right for you. Then from there, pushing hand into the foot, foot into the hand, open out. So then we take this variation with like a back bend here. So we're opening the chest up to the sky. One more breath. Then release it all the way back down. Woo, spicy hips. Then heel, tail, feet all the way in between the hands. Tuck under the right toe. Push away, take it all the way back, downward facing dog, shake it all out, nice. Maybe take that left leg, shake it in the air, give it some circles, give it some life. Ever feels right for you. And take the gaze forward. Walk, step or jump, top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise all the way up, hands reach overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center, coming onto the next side here. So as you inhale, the arms reach high. Exhale, hinging forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose. Either holding here or lower down knees, chest, chin, or take full chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Open the chest. Exhale, down dog. Coming back to that Ujjayi breath, keeping that breath soft and fluid as the mind will follow. Then pivoting those heels over to the left this time. So same flow, other side. You can bend your knees here, lifting up through the heels. Or if you can, ground down through that left foot, bending here and then open that right foot out. So it's like a variation of plank, but we've got a bend in that left knee to allow us for that extra support, open through the chest. And then take that right foot as slowly as you can, pivot on the back toes to come all the way in between the hands. Nice, that's not an easy transition. And then lower those knees, the left knee, down to the mat, keeping that left toe tucked. Inhale, the arms reach high, low lunge. And again, finding that stability here, right hip back, left hip forward. Exhale into those hands and allow yourself to lengthen through that right thigh, pushing away. And as you do this, draw that right foot towards the midline, the left thigh towards the midline. So we're squeezing, we're drawing in, finding that stability. So as you do this, you should actually feel a deeper opening through the left front of the hip. And then framing that front foot. We inhale, peel the chest, sink the hips. exhale, start to take your half splits on your right side. So flexing through the right foot, keeping your chest towards your thigh if you can, sending sit bones back. So really ground that heel down. That should feel really, really juicy. Take 2 more, inhale, peel it up. Sorry, 1 more. Exhale, take it back, holding for a moment. Noticing these sensations in the hamstrings and the hips. And inhale takes you forward. Exhale, release. Tuck under the back toes, ground down through both feet, squeeze through the thighs to drive you up. Crescent lunge, nice. Taking in a little modifications, bending that back knee to scoop that tailbone under. So it really doesn't matter if we have straight legs. This is creating a little bit of a lack of engagement. So for today, really scoop it under. Find that strength. Inhale here. As you exhale, power into that right foot to lift that left knee into your chest. Coming into figure 4 on the other side. So flex through that left foot. Start to take the left foot on the outside of the right thigh. Taking your hands to heart center. Again, this might be enough for you. If you want to add on, keep that foot flexed. Start to bend the right knee. Lower the sit bones. Think chair pose in the upper body. Squeezing everything into the center. Breathing into that left hip and noticing how this side might feel completely different to the other side. And that's fine, we're just noticing it. 1 more breath, keeping the mind calm. You're okay. And then lifting all the way back up to standing, drawing the knee back to the chest. Again, taking that left leg, extend it long, bend into the right knee. The left hand plants in line with the right foot. Inhale, the right arm reaches high, easy twist. Again, I'm really drawing that right hip back, squeezing the hips together. Lower the knee if you need to. Breathe in here, open through the chest. Then start to wriggle that right foot in line with the hip. Come onto the knife edge of the right and the left feet. Inhale, the hips go high, arm reaches over. Exhale, maybe we lower down. Maybe we hover off the mat, that's fine. 2 more, inhale. Drive those hips up. Exhale, sink it with control. Nice, 1 more, inhale. Exhale, maybe we can lower all the way down and open through the hips. Maybe taking a major. 1 more breath as you inhale, send the hips high, take that right hand all the way over. Walk that right foot all the way out, walk the hands underneath the shoulders. Turning the feet 45 degrees, you're in lizard lunge. Nice, so taking those movements again, rocking from side to side. Back and forward, anything you need to do to feel like you're sinking down a little bit here. You can lower the back knee as well, that's absolutely fine. And coming into the variation of cat-cow, so same thing other side. As you inhale, sink the hips down, open through that right hip as you peel the chest up. Exhale, push away, round through the spine. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Now lowering that back knee down if you haven't already, or just finding any variation of lizard that serves you right now. So again, maybe you want to come onto the forearms, open up through the knife edge of that right foot, but keep that foot connected down. So we want to make sure we find that engagement through the outer right hip. Maybe taking the right hand, just slightly encouraging a little bit more openness. Or if you want to add on to that quad stretch, bending the left foot towards the left glutes again. Taking the strap if you need to here. It might be here. It might feel a bit much. Being lizard, that's fine. If you can, taking the right hand all the way out. So we're open through the chest here. Start to draw that left toes towards left glutes. Again, just encouraging it. Maybe you want to move a little bit by bit. You don't have to take the same option as me. Take wherever feels right for you. Breathe into that space. Then with the foot into the hand into the foot. Maybe you want to push open. So you roll the right shoulder back, you open through the chest. So it's like a back bend and you're pushing foot into the hand into the foot. Nice, and then take that right hand all the way down. That hip should be feeling spicy enough now. Wriggle that right foot in between the hands. Ground down through the hands. Tuck under back toes. Step back downward facing dog. Shake out the right leg. Do anything that you need to do here. Whew, hips are feeling good. And then take it back down, lower the knees out wide. Lower the sit bones down to the feet and melt down the chest, down the head. Coming into asana, child's pose. Just breathe in here. Maybe coming into a bit more of a restorative pose here. And just allow your hips to sink back, feel really heavy. Maybe noticing the shift in your energy. Checking in with the body like we did at the start. Be noticing any subtle changes. Coming back to that breath, keeping that slow, controlled ujjayi breath. And when you are ready, maybe extending the hands back out. Tuck under the toes. Lift the knees, push the sit bones back, downward facing dog. So final little bit of energy here before we move through into a bit more of slowness and stillness into the practice. So tiny little flow here with a little few options. So come into your downward facing dog. Again, start to send those feet over, the heels over to the left. So same thing applies, so you can either bend down, finding that stretch. Maybe you want to ground down through that left foot to allow yourself to lift and open up. Maybe this time you can hold onto the foot. Maybe you want to take your strap. This is just optional, any variation. And keeping that left leg soft. Can you, wherever you are, step that right leg all the way into your lizard lunge with control. Nice. So we are back in our lizard lunge. So we should be feeling really nice and open now. So options here, you can take any variation of lizard that you took before if you feel like you want to work into this. Adding on from here, we can take a couple of asanas now that feel like our body is quite warmed up for. From lizard, you can tuck under the back toe. You can start to walk the right hand underneath the right foot. So we're snuggling that right tricep underneath here. So this might be enough. This is quite a lot going on in the body. Maybe you can walk the fingertips back. Maybe if you want to, you can externally rotate that hand to come into a bound lizard. So lifting up and out through the chest, pushing away. So there's a lot going on with the hips, with the thighs. We're finding a lot of engagement here. Again, steady in the mind. Or if you want to, and it feels nice for you, and you want to have a little play, you are welcome to come into your kundinyasana too. So same setup. So we walk the hands onto the outside of the right foot, but this time we walk that right foot in a little bit more. Placing the hands down. As you lean forward, we think chaturanga arms. So this right elbow, this right tricep is creating a shelf. we look forward, we gaze forward, start to walk that right foot out, flex through the right foot, look forward, lean forward. Maybe you find a little bit of flight. Maybe you can jump back, chaturanga, wherever you are. Pushing back to chaturanga, step back to chaturanga, and come all the way back to your downward facing dog. Nice. Roll out those hips if you took ekapada, maybe dropping down to the feet. Shaking out those wrists, giving yourself a little bit of a release here. That can be a nice and spicy one for the wrists. Amazing. And just taking a moment here to ground yourself back down, coming back to the breath. Calming the mind. And just letting things go. And blinking open the eyes if you've closed them down. We'll take this variation on the other side. So again, working into your downward facing dog, finding that stability. Through the asana, breathing here. And go ahead and send the heels towards the right, bending into the knees. So you're going from here, bending into the knees, and then powering through to lower into lizard is also an amazing option. So take any that you wish to. So either taking that or ground down through the right foot. Maybe you can open out. Maybe holding on to the left toe. Grounding through that right foot. Bending into the right knee a little bit for buoyancy to send the left foot all the way down. Lizard lunge left side, nice. So you know where you're going from here. And again, really notice that one side might feel a lot stickier, a lot different to the other side. So just be really mindful of that in your practice. So taking any variation. So again, maybe you want to start to wiggle that left hand under. Maybe you want to take the bind, coming into your bound lizard, pushing down through the feet, opening through the heart. Or maybe you want to find your flight. So again, spreading really wide through the fingers like you want to grip hold of the mat. Tucking that left tricep all the way in, create the shell. Start to walk that left foot forward. You can also do it with a bent leg as well. So I'll show you that option. So bending into that leg, sending the chest forward and down. Power really high through that right thigh to drive it up. Maybe you can step or jump back. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So wherever you are, make your way back to your downward facing dog. And then lower the knees down, come back to the seat, into a kneeling position. Maybe shaking those hands out again if you took your ekapada variation. And again, everything is optional, so that's quite a deep hip opening pose. Bound lizard is a really deep hip opening pose, so just go to the level and peel back those layers where feel right for you today. And maybe just because you've done something one day as well, it can be completely different the next day, so just let it be. Enjoy. Shaking off those wrists, nice. And we have one final tiny little bit of movement before we move down into our unwinding and shavasana. So coming into our pigeon pose, so pushing back into your downward facing dog. Start to draw that right knee in towards the right side of the body. So tapping the right knee with the right elbow. And then flex through that right foot. You can either lower down the shin to 45 degrees, or if you want to lower it down to 90, it really does not matter. But it matters when you feel any pain. So Notice where it feels right for you in your practice. Then start to send that left foot back this time. So we're going to come into a bit of an active pigeon first of all. So if anything feels quite intense for you in pigeon, you can place a block underneath the right hip. So this will just give a little bit of stability with squaring from the hips here. So before we move into a bit more of a restorative pigeon, see if you can really push that right foot, the right shin into the ground, keeping the back toe tucked. We're squeezing everything in, so this should feel a little bit juicy here. You can have your hands on blocks on either side. Maybe take your hands to your hips, or if you want to, taking your arms up into the air. And there is a lot going on here. See if you can quieten the mind throughout it all. And then placing the hands down, start to walk that foot back a little bit here, sinking everything heavy now. And go ahead and take your variation of a restorative pigeon. So making sure we have the hips squared. Again, any support you need to take. Maybe up here is more than enough. Or maybe you want to take a pillow in front of you, maybe coming down onto the forearms. So I really like to work quite progressively here. I never come straight into arms out, and that's the way I like to open through the hips, but everyone has to find their own little tips and tricks. Just moving with softness, moving with compassion. You want to find a nice balance between finding a deep stretch in the body, feeling the slight little bit of something happening. On each inhale, can you allow the body to fill? Create that space, and on each exhale, can you allow yourself to melt, sinking deeper into the mat? And a lot of things can arise here. So we've worked with a lot of deep hip opening poses today. So maybe you notice certain emotions surfacing. That's fine. Let them come up. Let them be. Taking one more breath. And then very slowly, keeping everything soft, start to move your way back. So taking the fingertips, walking them up. Nice. So this might feel enough for you here. So while we are really open through the hips, and we've worked towards this today, you can either stay here, or if you want to, maybe have a little explore with your mermaid posture. So we're finding like that active engagement that we took in pigeon. So everything is pushing down. We're really engaging here. Start to take that left foot towards the left glute like we did previously. So again, this might be enough. This is a lot going on, especially in the quad and the right hip. If you want to, maybe take your strap and you can hold it here. Adding on, you can take that left hand, maybe start to just draw it in, taking the hand, making like a little C shape for the hand. You can push the foot into the hand, hand into the foot. Or if you want, taking full mermaid, so taking that left foot into the crease of the left elbow, the hand reaches high, that right hand reaches all the way up, around, interlaces behind the head. Push the head into the hand, hand into the head, and we lift up and out of the chest. Again, I'm really active in my lower body here, so I'm finding that foundation to make sure I'm stable. If you're on a block or anything, I would advise to stay away from this right now, only when you're feeling really grounded in your practice, in this position. Nice, and then go ahead, release. lowering with control. So lowering down, coming out of the pose is just as important as coming into it. And ground down through the hands, tuck under the left toes, lift it up, shake that right hip. Ooh, spicy, spicy. And give it those nice circles, anything that creates that little bit more release. Then place it down. Taking it on the other side, so draw the left knee in towards the chest. And take the left knee over towards left elbow, flex through the left foot, and then take that across to the right. We're either planting it down 45, or maybe you can take it across into 90, but again, taking anything that feels right for you. So if you're up here and you're feeling really uncomfortable, take that block, allow yourself to melt into that space. Firstly, coming into that active pigeon, so you might notice a difference on one side. For me, this is definitely a harder side for me to process. So turning those back toes under, flexing through that left foot, lifting up and out of the hips. Maybe having your blocks, maybe hands to your hips. Turning that, everything on here, slight engagement through the glutes to draw the hip center, arms reach high. And breathe. I'm feeling it too, don't worry. Maybe embrace the shapes. Nice, and then go ahead, soften, release it, untuck that back toe. Finding anything that feels right for you, taking your modifications and then working your way down into your sleeping pigeon. Maybe you can allow that right hip to soften down a little bit here. Again, breathing into the space. Letting anything that wants to come up, just come up. Maybe you want to be with it for a moment, and then maybe you want to completely let it go. Exhaling, can you soften a little bit more? So you might notice that you might be holding tension in your shoulders, maybe in your jaw and your face as you do this, as it's a deep pose, but see if you can allow yourself to soften. Take one more breath. And then very slowly starting to make your way back up to your pigeon. So again, coming out of it if you need to. Maybe starting to draw that foot in a little bit here before coming into mermaid prep. So again, same thing. So if you want, stay in here, maybe drawing that right foot towards the right glute, finding that active engagement first of all, really finding that stability through the lower body. Maybe taking that hand around, maybe taking your strap and then pushing foot into the hand into the foot. Keep your hand down, keeping you grounded here for stability. And then maybe taking the right toes on the inside of the right elbow. So we're hooking on here, bending at the arm. Take that left arm all the way up into those hands behind you. Push head into the hands, hand into the head. And I'm really engaging again through my legs here. So this keeps me stable. And breathe. And then releasing down with as much control as you got into it. Nice. Then from here, sitting onto the left hip and taking your legs all the way out in front of you. Yay! And then just give your legs a little shake, pad them down to the ground. Release any tension that you might be storing here. coming into just a couple of gentle counter poses now. So working into Ardha Matsyendrasana, so half forward of the fish's pose. So maybe finding a little bit of space between your sit bones, making sure that you're grounded, your chest can be long. Then go ahead and draw that right knee in towards the chest and cross that right foot on the outside of the left thigh. So this might be enough for you here. Taking that right hand behind you, can be down onto the palm or using those fingertips. We inhale the left arm high into the sky. And as you exhale, start to draw that left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. So just finding that nice twist. You can bend that left knee in as well, if that feels better for you. So that feels maybe a bit of a deeper stretch. You want to keep the leg out long. Inhale to grow tall through the spine. And exhale to soften, maybe to open through the body. This should feel quite nice. Exhale, can you go a tiny little bit deeper, not pushing too hard. And then release it off here, release that hand. Take the legs out long, maybe give them another little paddle on the mat. And same thing on the other side. So drawing that left knee in towards the chest and then take that left foot on the outside of the right thigh. Walk those left fingertips behind you. Allow it to open through the chest. As you inhale, lift up and out of that right arm. As you exhale, take the right hand across, opening here. Stay in here, maybe bending that right knee as well. Again, whatever feels right for you. You might want to just take the hand and allow it to rest down here. Again, each inhale, grow tall. Feel like you're going a little bit taller through the crown of the head. And then exhale to twist. Again, we're moving into softness here, so this doesn't need to be the deepest twist you've ever done. Just breathe. And then releasing the hand, take everything back to center. Take the legs out long. Again, find those sit bones grounded down onto the mat. Take a little bend in the knees here. So we're going to come into Paschimottanasana. But I always like to take this towards the end of the class with a little bend in the knees, and we can start to cinch it forward into full Pashi if that feels lengthen here. So if you want to do that, then this might be quite welcome as well. So flexing through the feet, holding onto the strap. Inhale, slight bend in the knees. As you exhale, we're looking for that belly to thigh engagement. So it really doesn't matter how low down we go. On each inhale, it's like we're trying to lift a bit forward and down. So we're not just completely sinking down here. Lengthen and exhale. Can you allow yourself to soften a little bit more? Maybe if it's feeling quite nice, you can take hold of the outside of the feet and then just gently start to walk them out to warm the mat. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, feel it in that back body, feel that long spine. As you exhale, allow yourself to melt a little bit more forward, a little bit deeper. 1 more. Exhale, release. And gently walking your fingertips back or releasing the strap. Come all the way back to seated. And one final pose. So if you have a block handy or a cushion, whatever that you have available, we're going to make our way into supported bridge pose. So taking the back all the way down, take the soles of the feet in line with the glutes. Take them as close to the glutes as feels comfortable. And take your block, if you can, take it on this setting so you have it's like a mid-height. Ground down through the feet, squeeze the thighs together as you lift up and out. Take that block, and we want it to come onto the sacrum, so the space between your lower back and where the glutes start. So making sure that you feel quite comfy here, quite stable. Maybe you want to tuck your shoulders underneath, rolling them down. Finding again any little wiggles that you need. Turn your palms up to face the sky and just closing down the eyes here. Allowing yourself to melt down into the block or the pillow. Allowing that whole body to soften. Feeling a nice space in the heart and the chest. And then really letting those hips, that pelvis feel really heavy. Let it be fully supported by the block, by the feet. Be letting go of that ujjayi breath if you haven't already. Softening that breath. So coming back to really gentle inhales and exhales. On each exhale, can you allow something else in the body to just drop a little bit more? You're welcome to stay here for a bit longer. If you want to, pushing down through the soles of the feet, squeeze the thighs, lift the hips up to the sky, removing the block, place it to one side, and then rolling the spine all the way down, slow and steady, feeling that nice sensation, and taking the feet out long to either side of the mat. Palms facing up to the sky and closing down the eyes here in your final resting pose, your Shavasana. Just feeling completely weighted, completely heavy here. Allow everything to melt down. Feeling heavy, feeling soft. Feeling that wave of relaxation running all the way from the tips of the toes, up through the legs, melting the hips, softening the belly, the chest. Releasing the jaw, relaxing the temples until it makes its way all the way to the crown of your head. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you need. Take your time. If you're ready to move on, start to deepen the breath. Maybe bringing some small micro movements into the body. Maybe stretching all the way up and overhead like we did at the start. Inhale, reach tall, exhale, relax it off. Draw your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a really nice hug. Maybe taking some final little bits of movement to release any last bits of tension. And then however you wish, either rocking onto one side or rolling the body up. Start to make your way back to a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. Taking your hands together in Anjali Mudra prayer and resting your thumbs at your heart center. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Really nice. Just take a moment to notice maybe some space, some release that might have happened in your body. Start to bow your head towards your hands in honor of the practice of yoga and in honor of yourself for inviting yourself onto your mat today and doing what yoga means to you. Start to take your thumbs to your third eye center, space in between your eyebrows, and we'll all bow down to say namaste. Namaste. Thank you very much for flowing today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite sweet and sticky in the hip, and take it easy for the rest of the day. Hope to see you soon. Bye.